So let's talk about the work that we've been doing over the past several months. So first of all, I come to you with this, thousands of pages, and go, okay, these are banking records. We know that they've come from money laundering investigations in other parts of the world. So we believe that they're all true. Now what? How do we understand what's in here and what picture it paints for Canada? So let's talk about the work that you did, which we can see here.
Well, there is a lot in here, but our main focus was these Canadian companies, these 30 Canadian companies that sent or received money into this suspected money laundering network. Who are they? What kind of business do they do? What do they know? What did they know about the source of the funds? Right. So I started one of my favorite tools, a spreadsheet, which is a very good way to organize information when you're dealing with a lot of information. And what started to emerge for you? The spreadsheet allowed us to see who got the most money. Were there specific years and months when a lot of the money came to Canada? Were there companies that were involved in multiple transactions? And then I just sort of did a number of searches, publicly available searches that we can do as journalists. What kind of property do they own? Have they been bankrupt, and that sort of thing. And that led me to find that a couple of the recipients actually owned a lot of property and were buying and selling that property at the same time they were receiving the money. Which is key, because one of the questions that we asked ourselves throughout is, okay, money laundering, kind of sounds sexy, but why do people care? If it's not their money, it's not affecting them. But that kind of trickled down into the economy, onto balance sheets, into real estate. Now you have people's attention, because this can affect what they're paying for the property next door. And so one of the suspicions or one of the concerns is that there's so much anonymous ownership of real estate in Canada right now, because you can own real estate with a company where the true owners of the company are not revealed. This is one way that you can register a company in Canada, using something called nominee directors. And so the concern is that if you can anonymously own a company and anonymously own real estate, you can be washing money through that company, through that real estate, which hurts us all, as you say, and potentially makes housing prices go up, which nobody's happy about. And one of the best examples of, not specific to the real estate, but to this kind of lack of transparency around who owns things in this country was the company that you found through the flow chart that actually flowed the most money out of Canada, around $17 million. So that's right. Let's go through what we learned about them, which never included who owned it. That's right. So they're a New Brunswick registered company. Their registered address is a UPS box in St. John. Their mailing address is a P.O. box in Edmonton. They have an Estonian bank account and a South African director. I mean, it sounds like the United Nations of companies. Seriously. And the same director, this guy he's just signing his name to stuff. We don't think he owns it. Yeah. We found his name on like 200 other companies in the UK. Right. And one of the experts we talked to said this is a classic model of ownership for money laundering, is that there's really no information about who the true owner is, and we made our best efforts to contact that company, but at the end of the day, didn't hear anything. And it's like going down a rabbit hole. You cannot find the end of the tunnel in this stuff. And it's not just a problem for us as journalists, it's a problem for law enforcement too, as well, and that's what anti-corruption organizations are lobbying for now, is more transparency in the way that these companies are registered. And we know that the federal government in the last budget said it was planning to close this beneficial ownership, loophole, if you call it that, try to tighten it up, but I guess we'll see if the wording accomplishes that. That's right. Thanks, Jennifer. Thank you.